If you've just started milling your own flour and you're wondering, what do I actually make with this? Or maybe you've tried once and it didn't turn out quite right. Today, I'm going to walk you through a few simple recipes that are perfect for beginners and will help you build confidence right away. Hi friends, welcome back to For You Heart and Home. In the last video, we talked about how to get started, what you need, and how to keep it simple. And today, we're stepping into the kitchen together because the best way to learn this is just to start baking. Before we jump into recipes, I want to set a simple expectation. Freshly milled flour behaves a little differently than store-bought flour. Your batter might look thicker. Your dough might feel softer or more textured, and your baked goods may be a little heartier. And that's a good thing. It just takes a little getting used to. So give yourself some grace in this process. It doesn't have to be perfect to be good. Let's start with one of the easiest and most forgiving recipes, pancakes. Pancakes are a great place to begin because they don't require kneading, the texture is very forgiving, and they come together quickly. The method is also very simple. You're going to mill your flour, mix in your dry ingredients, add your wet ingredients, and stir to combine. Don't overmix. This is especially important for freshly milled flour. If your batter feels too thick, just add a splash of milk or water to loosen it. Fresh flour absorbs liquid a little differently, so small adjustments are completely normal. A full recipe will be linked in the description box below. Let your batter rest for 10 to 15 minutes, and this is a wonderful time to get your griddle ready so you can start heating that up. Once your griddle comes to temperature, you're going to pour the batter onto the griddle. Bubbles will start forming, and that is your cue that it is time to flip. Repeat the process until you're finished with the batter. Pancakes are a staple item in our home. We use them several times a week, and I love making pancakes because they are also easy to freeze. So if on a Saturday, for example, I make a batch of pancakes, I like to make a double or triple batch. I will feed us for that day, and then I will freeze the rest once it is completely cooled through. And then throughout the week, we have it as a breakfast option to pull from. The next recipe I'm sharing is for muffins. Muffins are also a wonderful base item because you can change the flavor profile as often as you wish. You can add in fresh fruit, dried fruit. You can also add in chocolate chips or seeds. Having a great basic muffin base is a wonderful place to start. They're also great for beginners using freshly milled flour because they're quick, they're flexible, and they work well with coarsely ground flour, which might be your result the first few times you mill your flour. Again, the method for making muffins is very simple. You're going to mill your flour, add your dry ingredients to the bowl, mix your wet ingredients separately, and then fold that in gently. Again, don't overmix. A few lumps are perfectly fine. Once again, I'm going to give you the tip. Let your batter rest for 10 to 15 minutes before baking. This gives the flour time to hydrate and helps improve the texture. Wonderful time for you to turn on your oven and get your oven preheated. After your batter has rested, you're going to scoop it into your muffin cups. A recipe for muffins will be linked in the description box. Follow the recipe for baking times. But you're going to leave them in your oven and pull them when a toothpick comes out clean. The final recipe we're going to look at today is a simple loaf of bread. Now let's talk about this bread because I know this is what many of you may be excited about. We're going to keep it very simple. If you are brand new to baking bread and to baking with freshly milled flour, I don't recommend starting with an elaborate bread recipe. Start with something simple and approachable. In my previous video, I shared that you can use freshly milled flour by hand with a stand mixer or with your bread machine. This is where you decide what works best for you. If you're going to be mixing by hand, you're going to mix the ingredients in a bowl, knead for approximately 8 to 10 minutes, let it rise, and then shape it and bake it. This takes a little bit more time, but it's completely doable. You can also use a stand mixer with caution. The mixers that I suggested in the last episode include the Bosch mixer or the Ankerschem mixer. Following the directions on the mixer, you can mix and knead your dough, let it rise, shape, and bake it. This saves a lot of time for a lot of people, especially when you're using whole grain dough. For me, my preferred method for making bread is using my bread machine. I can easily add all the ingredients, starting with the wet ingredients. Then I turn my machine on. I let the machine do the mixing and kneading. I stand by the machine for a short while during that initial mixing process to make sure it doesn't need a little bit more liquid or a little bit more flour. And once the machine's time has come to an end, I will remove it from the machine, shape it, allow it to do a second rise, and then I'll put it in my oven. For me, this is the most approachable way to use freshly milled flour when making bread. I use my bread maker for all the mixing of most of my doughs. So when I'm making cinnamon rolls, when I'm making pizza, when I'm making calzones, any kind of sandwich loaves I'm making, dinner rolls, I use my bread machine for all of that. And my dough cycle lasts about 1.5 hours. After the dough cycle is finished, I just take out my dough and shape it into whatever I am making, and then I finish it off in my oven. This has been a great success for me time and time again, and I've been using my bread machine to mix my freshly milled dough since the very beginning, since I started working with freshly milled flour. So that important tip for using your bread machine is that freshly milled flour often needs a little bit more hydration. So if your dough feels too dry, just add small bits of water, 1 tablespoon at a time. You're looking for a soft, slightly tacky dough. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. Start simple. You don't need complicated recipes to begin. You don't need perfect results. You just need to start. Maybe that's pancakes this week, muffins next week, and bread when you're ready. This is something that grows with you over time. In the next video, we're going to talk about how to make this a sustainable part of your routine, how to fit freshly milled flour into your weekly rhythm in a way that feels peaceful, not overwhelming. So make sure to come back for that, and I'd love to know, what's the first recipe you're going to try? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being you, and I'll see you in the next one.